We have to start with some really heartbreaking news. My friend, Empire star Jussie Smollett, was hospitalized after being attacked in an apparent hate crime. Carlos, please give us some details.
Well, you know, it was a hate crime. It happened overnight at around 2 a.m. in Chicago. Jussie Smollett was attacked. It was racially motivated and it was homophobic. He was walking home reportedly at around 2 a.m. You know, I spoke to the Chicago PD this morning, and according to him, there were two assailants who began yelling racial and homophobic slurs. They were reportedly wearing MAGA hats and yelling things like the N-word and calling him the F-word, reportedly. And the police told me that they beat him and then poured an unknown chemical substance on him. And, you know, at some point during this incident, one of them tied a rope around his neck.
Noose.
Yeah, a noose. You know, and I first, you know, I read about it on thatgrapejuice.net, and then I reported on it. I started making the phone calls, and once the Chicago PD confirmed that this actually happened, you know, I had a visceral reaction. I went to my dressing room and actually broke down. I was in tears because, you know, it hit so close to home. You never expect something like this to happen in a city like Chicago or New York in 2019, especially to someone like Jussie Smollett, who is so important to the LGBTQ community because we see him every week on Empire, being his authentic self, playing a very important character that a lot of LGBTQ, particularly young black men, look up to every day, and they need to see this for sure. And another disturbing part of this story is that he was reportedly getting these hate posts days before this happened with things like, "You will die black, beep." And, you know, I was told that the FBI was actually investigating it. We're still looking into this. We're finding more information out about that. But he was admitted to the hospital. He took himself to the hospital, and, you know, thankfully he's in good condition.
Yeah,
right now.
Definitely. Well, you know, you mentioned that it is a hate crime, so I just wanted to let you guys know hate crimes have increased 17% last year from 2016, and they've been rising for the third consecutive year as heated racial rhetoric and actions have come to dominate the news. The FBI reported that 20.8% of hate crimes reported to police in 2013 was founded on perceived sexual orientation, and 61% of those facts were against gay men. And then black Americans have been the most frequent victims of hate crime in every tally of bias incidents generated since the FBI began collecting this data in the 1990s. Wow. So, you know, he was truly under attack. And many of us feel under attack in this country due to the color of our skin or our sexual orientation.
I mean, I can't even imagine. This is such a senseless hate crime and unimaginable, really, to happen to anyone, especially in 2019. But Carlos, you mentioned how important Jussie's character is on Empire, and I know for us sitting at this table and for a lot of people who watch Empire, we just think it's a show we're watching, we're being entertained, we love it. But it's a huge deal that Jussie Smollett, the character Jamal that he plays, is an open gay black man on broadcast television. This past season there was a storyline with someone who's HIV positive that Jamal was dating. This is a big deal. It may not be to some people who watch the show, but it really is. He's just showing up to work every day, and we learned today he's putting his life on the line with people that do not believe in people like Jussie, and it's really just horrific. There's no other word to explain it. But Lee Daniels, the co-creator of Empire, he did have a really touching message for Jussie. He called him his son. He said, "You do not deserve this." And of course, there's been a huge outpouring from Hollywood. Some people who have released statements standing with Jussie are Viola Davis, Andy Cohen, Zendaya, John Legend. The list goes on. And of course, here we stand with him too.
Definitely, definitely. As I said before, he is a dear friend of mine, but he is just a bundle of love. He's a very heartfelt and compassionate individual. His Twitter bio kind of sums up who he is. It said, "I am simply here to help save the world. Nothing is more important than love." You know, and he's really very much a philanthropist and an activist. Back in December, he actually surprised a group of kids in Flint and did a toy drive with them. He's always on the front lines of GLAAD and AMFAR, all the LGBTQ community activism work that he does. And he also did a beautiful song last year called Hurt People, Hurt People. And he said this about why he wrote the song. He said, "This is an anthem for every person that is ready to break the cycle of hurt people hurting people." And he wanted it to be known that this was about no matter what color you were, your religion, you know, your sexual orientation, it's all about love and community. Now, when Jussie was actually on our show, he talked to me about his support of the LGBTQIA community. Let's take a little look. Were you ever concerned about being such a big supporter of LGBTQIA causes? Because sometimes it can alienate fans.
Any fans that it was going to alienate, though, were going to find out my life and who I am at a certain point. So if that's going to alienate them, then that's going to alienate them anyway.
Yeah.
If that means that it's going to chop things down a little bit, cool. But it's going to grow again. It's all good, because the good will always rise.
Yeah. He's just such an optimistic person, and he does believe in everything that he said on that tape.
Well, Jussie, thank you for being out and proud and a native son, and thank you for inspiring all of us.
Yes.
If anyone has any information, call Area Central Detectives at 312-747-8382, or you can report it anonymously at cpdtip.com.